Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So recently you would have observed that Anant Ambani is getting trolled a lot. The simple reason is that earlier he had lost a lot of weight, then he regained a lot of weight by his engagement marriage, and people are just speaking a lot of negative stuff about him online. This is a very sick mindset. This is a very bad mindset. I don't need to become preachy here, but I want to highlight a more fundamental issue that if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and if you're not becoming rich, then you are likely to suffer from one of the following three problems. The first problem is the mindset problem. So people who are more focused on Anand Ambani, that you know what, iska mazak uda dete hain, iska weight gain ho gaya hai, and all that stuff, they have that kind of a mindset problem. This is a very, very bad thing and you should change it if you want to become rich. The second problem that people suffer from, which prevents them from becoming rich, is called as the motivation problem. See, these days it's very easy to understand that in order to become rich, what are the things that you need to do? There is no information gap left right now. Everyone understands कि finance पता होनी चाहिए, marketing पता होनी चाहिए, sales पता होनी चाहिए, वगैरह वगैरह. The problem becomes that people do not find the motivation. They will say यार interest नहीं है finance में, क्यों सीखनी finance? So this is a major problem. That mindset is good, but the problem is कि not finding motivation to learn a skill that needs to be learned. And third and final problem that people suffer from is called as the roadmap problem. For example, mindset है, okay, very positive person, want to learn, want to focus on growth. Second is that motivation hai, I can study, what not. But third problem happens कि यार पता है कि finance सीखनी है, stock market सीखना है, but don't know how to do it. So on today's video, I am going to discuss with you 8 money making skills with you, and if you are suffering from that motivation or roadmap problem, how you can easily solve it. So this is a very practical executionable video. Please watch it. Please spend 15-20 minutes of your life. I'm going to speak from practical experiences in a very direct, no nonsense fashion. Even if you go and execute 4 of these 8 points, your life is going to become much better. If it does not, come back and dislike this video, but for the time being, like the video. I know that you have not liked it, so please like the video and we will kickstart it. Marketing skills. Now this is something that even our parents used to tell us कि यार marketing में बहुत scope है, marketing कर लो. But when we used to think about marketing, कि okay, marketing में तो क्या ही करना होता है, deck बनानी होती है, PPT बनाना होता है, this that. No. So marketing means that getting more eyeballs on whatever you are doing. So that is what simplified version of marketing is. Now you'll say that I am from an ops background, I am from an IT background. Why do I need to worry about marketing? Okay, because of a wide range of reasons. Number one, are you looking for promotion in your job? You will say yes. Then okay, then you need to market yourself as a candidate. Are you looking to switch your job? If the answer is yes, then you again need to get in the workforce and market yourself. If you have a simple LinkedIn profile and if you want to grow in your own industry, own company, then what is it that you're looking to do? Again, you are looking to market yourself. Now, of course, if you have a business to run, if you're doing freelancing, if you're doing content creation, then it becomes very evident that you need to learn advanced things around marketing. But every person on earth, whether you are directly involved in marketing or indirectly involved in marketing or has got nothing to do with marketing, you still need to know some basics around marketing. That is a massive money making skill. Now, another related point is, and this is something that you might agree with, that if you're in the corporate job right now, and tell me in the comment box if you do, that if you're in a company, you will see that some of your colleagues are growing really fast. People notice them, people notice their profile, people notice their work, but you are probably doing better work than them, but people are not noticing you. So what is happening here? Now you will say that, you know, chaplus aadmi hai, or he's a sycophant or she's a sycophant, you know, they are like boss's favorite and whatnot. Yes, that's one way of looking at it. But another way of looking at it is that they know how to network, how to market themselves. So this becomes an important actionable point that you can also learn and better your career. Now comes the natural question that, okay, how do I learn marketing? So well, there are a series of courses that you could take. I would recommend one from Udemy, which is an excellent online learning platform, and they have a wide variety of courses that are done by industry experts. So you could take a course called as the Complete Digital Marketing course. It is by Rob Percival. I will give a direct link to that course in the description box. Now you would have a normal response that, you know what, overall marketing karna chahiye, digital marketing karna chahiye, what specifically? Well, it depends on your requirement, but all of us, for example, if we own a LinkedIn profile, if we are trying to promote an online business, if we are trying to grow our own web page, or if we are just trying to manage our own personal profile. These days you might have seen that many people build their personal websites. So if you want to get more eyeballs on this, do learn about digital marketing. It becomes a very important avenue. So through this course, you will get a sense how to do email marketing, Facebook and Google marketing. So do go and check it out. So now comes the next and final point as to what specifically you need to do in order to gain some scale or make some money through marketing. Okay. Very important step is that please go on a website called as wix.com, and there you can create your own personal page. If you have no business, if you don't want to start a business, if you don't want to build a LinkedIn profile, at least have a personal website. For example, you could create a website called as akshatshrivastava.com in case your name is Akshat Shrivastava. So there put your bio, put your resume, whatever it is, and start promoting it a little bit. Because these days, whether you are applying for any job, even your office people, they will search you online and they will look at your online presence. कि यार मैंने Instagram पे तो हूँ मैं, कल ही मैंने अपनी swimming pool में photo डाली थी. No one bothers about that stuff. You need to project some kind of professionalism as well. So create your own website through any platform, create a basic blog, create a LinkedIn page, and start building a community and do newsletter marketing. This is very easy to learn. It will hardly take you 3-4 days to learn the entire dynamics, but at least that kickstarts your journey in marketing. Specific skill that you need to build in order to become rich is fairly simple, that you need to understand finance. Now you'll say, yaar, finance तो बहुत बड़ा होता है, and yes, do I need to do an MBA in finance? Do I need to do master's degree, this, that? No, you don't need to do all this stuff, but you need to understand finance. Now, why is this important? Please understand this point, that there is a punishment for not learning finance and there is a reward for learning finance. It's not as if क्या देखेंगे बाद में सीखेंगे and all that. No, you have to understand money if you want to grow it. Or if you don't understand money, then it is automatically going to shrink. So therefore, it becomes very, very important for you to understand basic stuff. For example, you might be deciding to buy a house. Now, when should you buy it? How much loan to take? Vagera points you need to understand. It is as simple as that. Now, this is a decision that impacts you massively. Second key thing, that these days consumer loans are given like candies. Now, if I go and speak with 10 random people in India, 9 of them will tell me, yaar, you know what, कि जितना ज़्यादा loan लेंगे, उतना ज़्यादा हमारी credit history बनेगी, and we will become like a better customer for these banks, and we will get like more credit loans, whatnot. So no, please understand this basic stuff. Now, the point that I'm trying to drive home is fairly simple, that see, finance is complicated. It is extremely critical that you pick up some central points, and even experts do not know everything. I am telling it to you point blank that my entire work is in finance space. I've graduated from like a top tier business school. I've cleared several levels of CFA, worked with top management consulting firm, have been investing for so many years, and even I have only touched the tip of the iceberg when it comes to finance. There is so much to learn. I keep on learning all day. I keep on researching. I keep on experimenting, and I keep on sharing all that information with you. So any finance expert, including me, whenever we give advice, please take it with a grain of salt. Please do your own research and please understand things holistically. I can tell you one central point, that no asset class in the world is bad. All these different asset classes have their own advantages, disadvantages. I have heard so many finance experts stress the point, you know what, आपको सिर्फ equity करनी चाहिए and only invest in stocks. Do not invest in any other asset class. For example, don't buy real estate because the growth of real estate is very, very slow. Well, this is a very incorrect point, and just use common sense. You don't even need to know any finance. For example, think about it this way, that if you go and buy a flat at 1 crore rupee hypothetically in whichever city, right? And after 1-2 years, you decide to sell it and it goes for, hypothetically speaking, 1.5 crores. Now your profit is 50 lakh rupees. Now the person that you're selling that to, they would have to do the entire registry, and if they decide to do it in white, it will be 1.5 crores. Now, whenever you're doing registry, you will have to pay a stamp duty between 8 to 12%. So what do real estate people do? They simply convert some part of white money into black money and do all this split, and they are able to manage their returns. But on the official figures, it is still written that, you know what, your return from that entire real estate was that you purchased it at 1 crore and you sold it at 1.05 crores or whatever, right? So your returns do not reflect the reality. Now, stock market experts and bunch of other financial advisors, what they do is कि देखो यार real estate में तो return आता नहीं है. No, it is nothing like that. Please understand all these practical points. So rather than going deep, now comes 2-3 basic points where you can get started. So point number 1 or step number 1 is that you might say that I have no interest in finance. I am from arts background. I am from engineering background. तो मेरे को finance सीख के क्या करना है, this, that. So point number 1 is that you have to learn finance because it impacts you. The moment you start making money, you will have to make financial decisions. So that itself falls under the gambit of finance. And for this, you need to develop interest in finance. Now, how do you develop interest in finance? Okay, so it is very simple, that first and foremost, start watching some interesting movies. I will recommend that please go and watch Wolf of Wall Street. You can watch it with your kids, parents. Okay, I'm just joking. Please don't do that. Please watch it alone. You will understand the reason why. So yeah, you can watch Wolf of Wall Street. There is a recent Netflix series that came, which was on Bernie Madoff. Do watch it. So pick up these interesting movies and shows. So go and watch it. So all this will at least kind of kickstart your journey in finance if you have no motivation to learn about it. Just watch it from entertainment purpose. And the more you expose yourself to these type of shows, commentaries, you will enjoy reading it more. Most of the students, what I've seen them doing is कि यार अखबार पढ़ लेते हैं, economic times लगा लेंगे. The moment you witness 10-20 points around economics and finance, your head will hurt and that will be the end. Many people start with budget कि भाई साहब आज budget देखेंगे. Now when you go and watch like a boring speech कि अच्छा ये tax बढ़ गया, वो tax कम हो गया, what interest will you gain, right? So if you are in that step 1 zone where you don't understand much finance and you are looking to develop interest in it, first step is that please generate interest by consuming entertainment content around it. Then comes step 2, that what are the absolute basics that you must know and understand in finance. Okay, so you must understand macroeconomics. This is such an important point. You must understand basic stuff like balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement. So where can you get started? Okay, so there is free YouTube resource that you can literally go on Khan Academy and start watching a series of videos. Now, if you are in little bit advanced stage, then you can start taking my courses also, because my courses are money focused courses. So the moment you take it, hopefully you will be able to turn that into money related to stock market, etc, etc. So that is step 2. Then comes step 3, that in the third stage, you need to learn about investing. You need to learn about finance. You need to make decisions around money. For example, loan कैसे लेना है, कितना लेना है, when you should take it, when you should not take it, all these different things. Now this stage is complicated, but this is practical finance. You must understand some bit of it, if not a lot. So at least kickstart your journey by implementing these points. So the third skill that you need to learn in order to make good amount of money is that you need to set up your day and set up habits and set up systems. Now what do I mean by that? When I say that build habits, people assume कि 5:30 पे उठना है, meditate करना है. No, I myself get up at like 9 or 10 sometimes. It doesn't matter. The important point is that you must know what you're doing throughout the day. It should be very clear what goals and tasks you need to accomplish, where you need to spend time entertaining yourself, where you need to take time for your family, where you need to take time for your work, and how you are going to plan your day. So this becomes a very important point. Otherwise, and you tell me in the comment box, दिन भर स्क्रोलिंग करके निकल जाता है टाइम, राइट, एंड कभी कभी लिंक्डइन पे चले जाते हैं तो वहाँ पे निकल जाता है. इंस्टाग्राम रील देख ली तो यू नो आई एम वॉचिंग वन रील आफ्टर दी अदर, सो 50 रील्स हो गई हैं अब, and the entire days goes to waste. You end up doing nothing in terms of either making money, improving your skill set, or even getting entertained. So there is nothing you end up doing and then you wonder यार पूरा हफ्ता निकल गया, कुछ भी काम नहीं किया. So that should not happen. How to avoid that? 3 tips. Number 1, as I said, plan your day. It is very, very important to understand a day before what you are going to do the next day. So here is a planner, and again, I will link it down in the comment box. It's a free planner. You can go and check it out, take a printout and do this exercise for 7 days. That, for example, today is Sunday, tomorrow is Monday. So sit on Sunday and write on your Monday page, okay, these are the things that I'm going to do. Just literally write 3 key important things. For example, the first thing could be that I'm going to exercise for 1 hour, or I'm going to go for a 1 hour walk. If you consider this to be a priority item. Second key point could be that I'm going to watch 5 macroeconomics videos by Akshat, and also I'm going to press like button on this video because I have still not done it. So you do that also. Then comes the third key point that, okay, I have to work. So I'm going to spend X amount of time working or doing this deep work, whatever it is. So this is all you need to do. You don't need to create like a very elaborate timetable. Just literally write 3 key priority items. Even if you keep on attaining your 3 most important things in a day that you plan to do, your life is going to change. Try it for 1 year and you yourself will see the change. Second key point, implement the framework called as do, learn, repeat. Okay, what is the meaning? For example, let's say that you plan your day, but your plan does not go. Stop fretting about it. You have done something, you have planned your day, it did not work out, so you learned something and just analyze it. That boss, I wanted to watch like 5 macroeconomics video, I could only complete 3. So why did you miss 2? Just ask yourself the question and then make the change and repeat. So it's a very simple framework, do, learn, repeat. If you do this, you will see improvement on every single day basis. This is a very basic productivity hack. So then would come the question that, okay, how do I do, learn, repeat, think? Okay, so in the planner that you have made, just literally write 3 points for improvement. So what do you need to do? 1 day before, you need to plan 3 activities that you plan on doing the next day. And at the end of the day, do a quick audit that, okay, I was supposed to do these 3 things, but I missed some of my targets. Why did I miss it? What did I learn? So even if you write it down, one sentence, and if you do this exercise, it will hardly take you 5-10 minutes, not more than that, but it will be a game changer for you. Then comes the third and final point, that you need to optimize time. I keep on saying this, so I will not belabor this point. It is very simple, that do deep focused work. Use Pomodoro technique, avoid distractions, don't keep your phone next to you while working. All these are basic points. I will not make an elaborate video here, but I hope you got the picture as to why setting up systems and processes is so easy, why it is critical, and how it can change your life. Okay, so then comes the fourth point, which is around sales. That every time, Akshat, you say that learn sales, sales is very important, everyone is selling this, that. I know that I've been saying this, so I will not belabor that point again. I will keep it very brief. So point number one here is that everyone is selling. Please understand that. Don't say यार मजा नहीं आता sales करने में, sales कौन करेगा, मुझे क्या salesman समझ रखा है. No, nothing like that. Even your CEO is selling. You are supposed to sell, even if you're not directly in the sales department. If people do not sell, they will not be able to eat. That is the reality of the world. Then comes point number two, that there is a difference between ethical sales and unethical sales. Ethical sales means that you are selling value and people are getting value out of it. Unethical sales means कि आपने ज़बरदस्ती चिपका दिया माल, right? So that is the difference between ethical and unethical selling. When you say that I feel iffy about sales, probably you are feeling iffy about unethical sales. So no one is pushing you to do it. So comes the natural question that how do I do ethical sales? What are some of the key points that I must keep in mind? Okay, so here is a very good list of points that I have picked up from the internet. And if you just literally go through this checklist, and I will go it with you, you will be able to get a framework as to how to sell. So number one, make it about them. For example, let's say that you're in a job interview. What is your goal there? You will say कि यार मेरे को अपना resume चिपकाना है, मुझे ये बताना है कि मैंने क्या क्या अच्छा काम किया है. No, that is not the goal there. The goal is to align the fit and talk to the interviewer as to how you can be beneficial for their company. That is what they care about. So make it about them. Second key thing, that do your research before reaching out. For example, if you are applying for a job, do research about your job. Your goal is not to fine tune your resume, make it like really crisp. How many times are you going to refine your resume? You need to research about the job also. It is equally important, if not more. Then comes the third point, that build rapport first. So you might have seen that people who maintain good eye contact, smile, are generally warm, affable. They usually get the jobs. Why does that happen? Because they are able to build a rapport quickly. Now, how to do it? It's an entirely different attribute. But for the starters, if you can just simply smile, have a warm, pleasant personality, if you are intending to listen to others, if you're genuinely curious, all these things reflect during your interview. So please keep that in mind. Then comes contribute first, sell second. Now it depends on the circumstance under which we are doing selling. So probably if you are a salesman and if you're trying to sell a washing machine, then you must highlight the point that how is this product going to be useful for other. Don't try to just simply make the sale. Yeah, discount चल रहा है 50% ले जाओ. उनके घर में if there is already a washing machine, then what are you selling, right? So please understand this. Ask questions and listen. This is such an important point that in order to be an effective salesperson, you need to listen. For example, I might not be responding to all the YouTube comments that I get, but trust me, I read every single YouTube comment because it acts as a feedback mechanism for me, and that allows me to curate my content the next time I publish a video. So similarly, if you go through this entire list, you will get the point. In case you are missing on any of these points and not able to decode what that means, just drop in your question. I will try to respond to that. Okay, so the next money-making skill is called as the structured thinking skill. Now, why am I calling it a money-making skill? What exactly is structured thinking? Let me quickly present an overview. For example, I used to work as a management consultant, and management consultants are paid a lot of money to do what? To do structured thinking. So what exactly is structured thinking? Well, structured thinking means that there is a very complicated problem in front of you and you are able to subdivide the problems and communicate the solutions really effectively. Okay, so that is a mouthful. So let me simplify that. So let's understand it through an example. So let's say that I have purchased a villa in Goa and I'm trying to turn that into a short-term holiday rentals like Airbnb type of a business. So how I should think about this problem and what challenges will I face? This is a highly complicated problem that I have a property and I want to turn that into a cash flow property. How do I think about this complicated problem and where do I get started? Many people, or at least 80-90% people, they will get bogged down. यार हमसे तो नहीं होता business. No, at least you have to think or at least start thinking about these complicated problems because it will make your brain fertile. So what are the challenges or major buckets where you can structure this? So the first challenge would be that how do I market that villa? So you need to have some kind of marketing strategy. For example, I will market it on Airbnb website or I will create my own website and market it. Second bucket would be कि चलो एक बार marketing हो गई, लोग आने लग गए. Then how do I operationalize it? कि उसमें bed कौन clean करेगा, toilets कौन clean करेगा, वगैरह वगैरह, right? So that becomes an operational problem. Then comes the customer support problem and taking orders, refunding money if people are not showing up, वगैरह वगैरह. So you see that I am structuring the problem into different buckets. So this process is called as structured thinking. Management consultants make crazy amount of money just presenting these structured thought processes on a deck. Of course, it's more complicated. I'm simplifying it. But structured thinking makes you really rich for a wide variety of reasons. Number one, no matter what job you are doing, if you are a structured thinker, you will be able to figure out solutions to different complex problems. This is a very high paying skill. Second key point, that if you are looking to start your own business, there will be a wide variety of problems that you will face. It's not as if कि यार मैं तो CA हूँ, मैं तो अपना कैफे डाला, मेरे को फाइनेंस आती है, मुझे बाकी कुछ नहीं आता, तो मैं हायर कर लूँगा सबके लिए. नो, यू एटलीस्ट नीड टू हैव लाइक बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ डिफरेंट फंक्शंस, और एटलीस्ट थिंक अबाउट इट. नाउ डेज द हैबिट इज कि यार डिग्री कर लेते हैं सब, एक मार्केटिंग की कर लेंगे, एक फाइनेंस की कर लेंगे, एक सेल्स की कर लेंगे. नो, यू कांट डू दैट. यू कांट डू लाइक 500 डिग्रीज. You must get into the habit of breaking apart complex problems into simpler steps and doing some rational thinking around it. God did not create degrees. Trust your brain over degrees. So that's a simple message I'm trying to give. Okay, so now would come the natural question that how do I learn structured thinking? Okay, so number one, I run a course on Wisdom Hatch. We have an excellent community. People help each other. You can go and check it out. Second key thing, that if you want to just get started, then start reading Harvard Business Review articles. That is an excellent forum where you can get a lot of interesting data, insights, and your brain will automatically get structured. Third and final point, please stop absorbing crap. Now, what do I mean by absorbing crap? It simply means the more garbage you fill your brain with, the less structured it will become. You will get used to absorbing super simplified content. So I, for example, have a very basic rule that whatever content I watch on YouTube, it needs to be educational. That's it. For entertainment, I watch OTT platforms. Now, I'm not saying that you should also do the same. If you find something entertaining, watch it, no doubt about that. But don't fill your entire brain with entertainment-oriented content because it is simpler to consume. Okay, so the next major money-making skill is communicating effectively. Now you'll say, Akshat, communicating effectively? I learned how to communicate when I was in class 2 or class 5. Okay, so think about it this way, that what do you know Steve Jobs for? Okay, so one aspect could be that you know him, that he made like iPhones, iPod, AirPod, this, that. But the iconic part about Steve Jobs was his presentations, that he used to get up on stage and get people super excited that, you know what, this new product is coming up, this, that. So what was the viewpoint there? He was a very effective communicator. Go and ask, and I've been fortunate to speak with a lot of CEOs. Their central consideration is that, hey, you need to be an effective communicator. Now comes the natural question, what is effective communication? Very simple, that if you are saying 10 things and people are able to absorb 9 things, what you are saying, you are a decent communicator. But if you are saying 10 things and people are only able to absorb 5 things, then you are a bad communicator. I will say this is such a simplistic definition. Simple things are good things in life. So please remember this definition whenever you are thinking about effective communication. So then comes the natural question, how do I develop effective communication skills? Public speaking skill laga loon, ye kar loon, wo kar loon. No. First and foremost, please record yourself in front of camera and try to improve however you speak. So this is point number 1. Point number 2 is that understand clarity of expression. Clarity of expression means that if something can be explained in 10 seconds, you are taking only 10 seconds to explain it. So that is the clarity and concision in terms of your expression. How do you get there? Very effective third tip, that please start writing. Because when you write, your brain starts to think correctly, and there is a very strong link between how you think, how you write, how you speak. Sometimes you might have noticed कि यार मैं दिमाग में कुछ चल रहा होता है, मैं बोल कुछ देता हूँ. Now why is that? Because the loop between your thinking, speaking and writing is not coalesced. So you might be a very gifted natural speaker. I'm not talking about these type of exceptions, but for general people, there is a very strong link between how you think, how you write, how you speak. So if you learn how to write effectively, then all the other things will improve with it. So then comes the next skill, which is judgment. That if you want to make good money in life, you need to have very good judgment. Now, judgment can be broken down into 10,000 different sub-segments. I can do like a 5-hour talk on this, but think about it this way, that many people who become extremely rich, for example, Nicolas Cage, they made horrible investments, went bankrupt. Michael Jackson made horrible investments, went bankrupt. So people can get rich, but what keeps them rich for generations is good judgment. So then comes the natural question, how do you build good judgment? Well, good judgment comes from wisdom, and wisdom comes from insights, and insights come from practical experience. So if I have to boil it down, and this is a very complicated topic, so I will simplify it. So the simplified version of building judgment is that if you do more stuff, and if you practically execute things, you will build very good judgment in something. For example, if you read a book on swimming, कि भाई swimming कैसे करते हैं, then you can keep on reading it. You will never understand कि यार समुद्र में जाना चाहिए कि नहीं जाना चाहिए, right? उस टाइम पे हाई टाइड आ रही है कि नहीं आ रही है, and should you swim there or not? But on the flip side, if you practice swimming, right? When you start from simple things, then move to complex things. पहले आपने pool में swimming करी, baby pool में, then you went to like a slightly bigger pool, then you went to full length pool, then you went to the sea. Now you can just literally eyeball it and figure out कि यार आज swimming जाना चाहिए, weather कैसा है, कि मैं कर सकता हूँ कि नहीं. So that is a judgment. This happens when you are investing. This happens in terms of whether you should start a business or not. This happens whether you should invest in a business or not. This happens where you should be investing your time or not. So judgment, according to me, is one thing that is very, very difficult to teach, but it creates the most impact on your wealth. So the practical tip in terms of improving your judgment is that do more. Whatever work opportunities that you're getting, explore it, experience it, try to experiment with new career paths. The more you do, the more your judgment will improve. So now comes the final point, which is trend riding. Now people make money through trends. If I ask you that how did Paytm become so big, so fast? Well, the answer there was very simple, that there was a trend going on that in 2016 demonetization happened, then Paytm karo ka ad aaya and whatnot, and Paytm benefited from that trend. Many a times you would have observed that, you know what, आजकल engineer बन रहे हैं, and people are like, you know, spending so much money becoming engineers. Then for most of them, good jobs are not there. But this was not the situation 20 years ago. There were so many engineering colleges that were flourishing. Everyone was becoming engineer. People were getting decent jobs. Why? Because engineering was in trend. So please identify trends. That is where money is made. So what are some of the key trends that I can think of? Artificial intelligence, machine learning, crazy amount of money coming in there. Content creation, massive trend going on. Lot of money coming in there. Now you'll say, Akshat, you're talking about tech, this, that. What about offline things? Any offline trends that you're observing? Yes. Short-term holiday rentals. This is one trend that I'm observing. This is not the only trend, but these are some of the trends that I can observe from my everyday life. So I'm discussing it with you. This is not an exhaustive list. You tell me in the comment box what other trends that you are seeing. Now comes the natural question, how do I identify trends? Well, for this, you need to keep an open mind. You need to go speak with people. You need to read, absorb things correctly. But I think people focus too much in terms of just identifying the trend that anyone can do. But once you have identified the trend, how do you get on the bandwagon? That is more important. Well, because there is something called as white space theory. Now, white space theory simply means that, you know what, some areas are highly competitive and some areas are not. For example, right now, there is a wide space in content creation space because there are few content creators. Do you think that this is going to be the situation 2 years from now? The answer is no. The content creation space will get saturated. Maybe now is a wide space. 2 years after, it will be completely crowded. So this blue ocean or a peaceful ocean will turn into a red ocean. So that is how any industry operates. So the important point is that how do you quickly learn this content creation skill and get it to scale where you are making money? So learning things fast and executing things fast becomes more important than simply trend spotting. Let me know in the comment box which specific skill you like the most and which specific skill will help you make the most money. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please press the like button and I will see you the next time.